Hey, BassGeek here, and today I'm going to show you how I keep up with my rod and reel arsenal. So before we even get started, guys, understand, I didn't build the amount of rods and reels I have overnight. Man, I have worked on all of my gear for years and years and years. I understand some of you guys aren't going to, ever want the amount of rod and reel combos that I carry with me. To each their own. For me, I like to tournament fish. Even when I'm not fishing tournaments, I like to maximize my time. And for me, maximizing my time means that my bait, or what I feel confident in throwing at the moment in the conditions, is in the water in front of more fish more often. So one of the problems with having that many rods and reels, yes, some of them are specialties. And so specialties, they're used, like the Alabama rig or a flipping rig. I have rods and reels or a deep cranking combo. I have combos that are used for one thing specifically. But I also have a lot of general medium heavy 7-foots, medium 7-foots, casting 6, 7-foot medium actions, so in those cases, some of those may be set aside for a particular presentation, but others are and can be used for a myriad, a host, a bunch of different things. And that's where I tend to run into a problem. Not all rods or reels, and I know, like my flipping stick, I think it's a Bass Pro Shops. I don't remember the exact name, but anyway, it's got a little dial that tells me the line capacity that's on that particular combo. And that's great. That really helps. But some of them, like the Lew's, this is the BB1 Pro, but on the reel, which I like, it actually has a little dial that tells you what line you have on there. But one of the problems I have with that is if you've got 20, 30, 40, 50 of these in your rod locker, you're still having to dig through that stuff to find, a particular line, rod, reel, whatever it is you're trying to find, so that you can maybe use whatever presentation that is, or take whatever you have tied on and switch that presentation to something else you want to be throwing. So here's how I've came up with a solution to that. Not saying it's right, but it's worked for me for years and years at this point, and I figured I'd share it with you guys. So one of the things that I've actually came up with is this little technique right here. Now, I love the split gaps. It really allows you to put that out of the way. And here's basically what I do. So I've got a little dynamo labeler, and I'm telling you guys, you don't even have to use these labels. I've actually got some rods where I've taken a Post-it note, cut it down, wrote on there with a Sharpie or an ink pen, and then taped it up. The other thing you want is some really good packing tape. This is, I think, Gorilla tape, and I mean, it's like rated, it's clear. You got to have it clear, of course. It's rated like, to patch pools and tires and tarps. The better you can get, the cheap packing tape will work generally for about a year or a few good months, depending on how much weather you're out in. And I go back to this one. I'm pretty sure that's just straight packing tape. So it'll work for a long, long time, but this works for a really long time. So here's some of the materials I use. Of course, you got to have a good solid pair of scissors, a label maker, or like I said, just some sort of piece of white paper that you can write on. You got to have some sort of clear packing tape. And guys, what I prefer is the Dynamo, you know, not sponsored by, hey Dynamo, reach out here, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I like their white plastic. It lasts so much longer. Don't get the paper. The paper's eventually going to get wet and it's going to go away. Don't get the clear because it's going to be hard to see. But what I like to do is I put this in my Dynamo and I print out a label. Now, what's the difference? Let's say, like I said, with the Lew's BB1 Pro, having the dial on the side. Well, the great thing is, generally, the one area that's the least cluttered is this area back here. And like I said, you'll notice I put it on, or in between the butt of the rod and the reel seat. And what I like about that is that you're never touching that. So a lot of times you're not wearing it out. Now, in other cases, if you don't have a split grip, I'll put it up here just above, you know, where the power and the rod information is, or just below it so that it's right in front of this. But now, there's other added benefits to this. And the thing that I like about it is that, let's say this is my drop shot rod, okay? This is my drop shot rod and reel. I can actually put on the butt of this rod, drop shot, 8-pound test. I may have 2 of these, which I do. And on the other, I may have lighter or heavier line at times. Let's say I'm using a different type of line. So I've got 2 of these combos. Let's say I'm using, you know, 8-pound test in VizX on one. And let's say I'm using 8-pound test 100% fluorocarbon canine on the other to test it out, to see what I think about the 2 lines, because I like to try different things, different lines. Well, I can actually put that on there. So let me show you how I'm going to do one of these. All right, so we print the label, 20-pound FL for fluorocarbon. There's the label. We find a good spot to put it on. Pull out just enough, and where that's old, I'm going to cut that off and trim it down. Just enough to go around one time. Start the tape just above the label. Get that smoothed out. And twist right around until it is nice and smooth. Now guys, I know if you watch the videos a lot, you're going to see this a whole lot on a lot of my rods and reels. Like I said, sometimes you'll see it above the reel seat, but that right there simply lets me know what line I've got on this combo. All right guys, it really is that simple. It lasts forever and a day. So if you've got a way that you organize your rods and reels when you're out on the water, other than just memorizing them, because that don't work for a lot of us, but let us know in the comment section below. As always, I love to learn from you guys, and I love for the other subscribers to learn from you guys. If you haven't noticed, we're super close to 20K. And guys, I want to say thank you. I'm a little behind. I do plan on doing something. It may be a little while after we hit the 20K mark, but I do plan on doing something. I've got to get stuff together. It's been such a busy year. Please be patient and please forgive me. Anyway, all that aside, thank you guys. I love that you Bass Geeks out there, that the Bass Geek Nation really is just exploding. As always, questions and comments in the comment section below. Tell me how you keep up with what line and what combos you have in your boat, in your bag, whatever. Tell me how you do it. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And you guys know it. We're almost to 20K. You guys stinking rock, man.